Well, hey there everybody, welcome back to the channel, and thanks as always for hanging out with me again today. So on today's video is a culmination of some Buyee purchases. So I've been on and off on Buyee all year, and right now I'm on a little hiatus, holidays coming up, all that stuff, but starting to work through some of the projects that I bought on there. One of them has been through several purchases. So in one purchase, I bought a body set, and then subsequently I found a chassis to go with that body, and then some wheels and tires to go with that chassis and body. So it all worked out really well. And I sat here and I looked at it and I pondered, and I couldn't figure out what I wanted to actually do with it. And then I saw Guru's RC. He does some amazing paint jobs, and he did a Kyosho Scorpion. Fantastic paint job on there. And about halfway through watching his video, it clicked, and I'm like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. So, I'm not going to hold it up anymore. Here is the cool wheeling 90s themed Suzuki. Now, I know right away some of you guys are going to be like, the driver figure's on the wrong side. From the instructions, yes, the driver figure's on the wrong side, but here in the US, he's in the left side of the vehicle, the correct side of the vehicle. There you go. So Guru's did this cool little pink neon squibble down the side of his Scorpion, and I saw that and I was like, ooh, that reminds me of those cool little like 90s lowriders and sport trucks, and everybody had a cool theme to their truck. And then I was like, well, that would work out really well. So this is my little 90s themed Suzuki. Now it's a Jimny, but over here they were all sidekicks and similar, and man, there was a ton of custom ones running around. So we did the cobalt green on it, and then just fluorescent pink, the little squibbly heartbeat thing. There's some little tiny pink stripes down here, and then we did pink on the bumper, and with the spare tire cover, some shameless self-promotion there with the Addam's Playground sticker. Did the driver figure in there. He's got the pink helmet, and I'll show you some up close with him. But unfortunately, you can't really see it in here. But I took some spare cutoffs from the Grand Hauler sticker set, and he's got like the script work on his helmet. Just a fun little kit. I put the Bridgestone Potenza tires on there that I got from Buyee recently. So the body was the first purchase, and then the chassis I found, and then I found the full set of wheels and tires. All together, I think I've got about 130 bucks into this whole kit. Well, 140. Well, say 150 with the paint. 2 cans of paint adds to the total, but thankfully I already had the paint. But overall, roughly 150 bucks into the whole kit, and that's still less than you can buy a Wild Willy 2 WR02 kit for. Another cool little feature, and this probably won't show up when I'm driving it, but I found something really neat on Amazon at some point, stumbling around, and now it has onboard tunes. Not something I normally go with, but in the 90s, it was a big thing to have, a loud, outspoken vehicle and to be pumping music out of it as loud as you possibly could. So what it is a little tiny Bluetooth speaker pod. I think I paid 12 bucks for it. It was on the Amazon Prime Day special, and I'll show you an up-close picture of it. It's maybe a little 1.25 inches around and maybe 3/4 of an inch thick. It is a tiny little thing. And all I did was just cut a piece of, here, so I can talk without competing with the stereo, the onboard stereo. All I did was just cut a piece of some EVA foam and fit it down behind the steering. And the reason it's standing up on end is because the power button is on the bottom, so you just basically have to press and hold it, and then it turns on. It'll bind with my phone, and then I can cruise around playing tunes. Now, of course, it's a gimmick, but for 12 bucks on sale, I couldn't pass it up. I think they're normally like 15 bucks. I'll put a link down in the description below if you guys are interested. It has next to no bass. So don't think you're going to go around thumping bass or, you know, having superior quality out of it. It's very trebly, but, you know, it is kind of cool hearing it play its little tunes while it's sitting there. So, yeah, nothing special about it. It's just a Wild Willys 2 kit, full bearings. I took the transmission apart, put bearings in it. Still has the bouncy pogo shocks on it. Let's see, did put a torque tuned motor in here, so it should get the front wheels up pretty quick. I wanted to give it a little bit extra chance. You know, with the lightweight body, they don't tend to want to drive the wheelies very long, so I put a torque tune in here to hopefully get the front end up and drive around. Now, I don't even know how it's going to do with the slick tires on it outside, but we're going to give it a run in the grass. Not going to take it on the track. It's not a track truck. I really don't want to, you know, get it all dirty and dusty. Just going to run it outside in the grass and kick some leaves up. Since fall is here and leaves are falling faster and I can get them up, we're just going to go out there and bop around in the yard for a little bit. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Of course, there'll be a little picture montage of everything up close. And like I said, I'll take a picture of the little speaker and everything in there, and that'll be linked down below if you guys want one for one of your projects as well. But anyway, as always, everybody be happy, be healthy, be safe, and we'll talk to you in the next one. See you guys. All right, so I just came back in from trying to run the truck. You know, luck we have it, the grass was wet, and it was actually starting to sprinkle on me while we were out there. So it very quickly turned from a wheelie machine to a slide around and spin in a grass machine. Obviously, slick's not the best environment for it, but did the best I could with what I had. So we took it in the yard, in the gravel, back in the yard, and ran it around. Got a few good wheelies out of it, but for the most part, it just didn't have the traction to grab a wheelie. And if it did, it kind of just shot straight up, and you know, I wasn't expecting it to go back, so it just shot straight up and kind of stood up on the rear end. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and sorry it wasn't the best footage, but it's what we had. So it's cleaned back up, it'll go back on the shelf, and when everything is nice and dry, and we'll get back out there. One funny thing did happen. Right when I first started driving it, I was just checking for trim and all that stuff, and it got about 30 feet away from me and just stopped, and nothing was happening. And I'm like, what is going on? And you know, steering was working, and I could hear the motor trying to do something, but it wasn't. And I'm like, what is going on? So I went over there and, you know, picked it up and squeezed the trigger, and you could just barely hear that squeak noise of the motor trying to do something. Put it in reverse, same thing. And I'm like, what is going on? So I put it down on the ground and tried to, you know, roll it back and forth, and the rear wheels were just locked up. And I'm like, did I just lock up a motor? And the funny thing was, all it was a tiny little stem of a leaf had gone up and shot right into the opening of the motor back here, that little cooling fin opening, and it stuck right in between the armature and a magnet and wedged itself in there. So, you know, when you tried to roll it back and forth, it was locked solid. So I actually had to find another stick and push the armature over to free up that little thing, and it ran great after that. But just kind of a goofy little funny thing that happened. I thought, you know, it was done before it started. Anyway, guys, to the run.
email chains that just threw that stuff, but not